Hi guys, and welcome to the next class, which will be our continuation of our hip mobility. So like you would have seen in the previous video clips, we've been working all the muscles around the pelvis and trying to loosen up through that anterior, posterior tilt, all those that lateral sort of lateral train, that sort of area here with your TFL, the QLs, the glute med, that sort of area, just to really stabilise through your pelvis and create that little bit more freedom. What we're going to do now is continue on with that, but just bring in some more aggressive versions. So like you would have seen in the previous clip where we did a lot of work and focus on the psoas, what you should have been doing before you watched this one is obviously go and implement that. So if you've done that video, then by all means, this here is your next step. And same goes with those previous videos and clips that you would have been seeing as well. So make sure you've been watching, implementing, learning, coming up to Melbourne, myself or any of the other coaches and asking any questions, giving feedback, what's worked well for you, what hasn't, are there any other ideas that you can go over, that sort of stuff. Make sure that when you are watching, like I said, implement, give it a go, because like I've said time and time again in these videos, guys, for those of you, especially with your hips that are doing a lot of riding, if you're in the spin classes, or if you're doing a lot of running, especially this time of year, coming up with a lot of fun runs, 10Ks, 5Ks, half marathons, you name it, all that sort of stuff, your hips are generally going to get tighter and tighter if you're doing the load and you're loading up the impact without doing the right things by your body. All well and good to go and hit the training classes hard and hit the running hard and all that sort of thing, but with the training comes the mobility, which is why we're putting this video sequence together completely for your knowledge, for your information, for your benefit. So make sure you're going back over these things and giving them a go. So like we said previously, with the hips, so whether it be the flexion, the extension type movements, or that external rotation, that sort of stuff, a lot of you guys will generally be very tight through these areas without even realising it. Alright, so we've gone over certain points with our trigger points on our psoas, we've gone through the myofascial releases throughout the glutes, throughout your hips, the quads, etc. So what we're going to do next is we're going to get the power bands out, and what we're going to do is we're going to go through a couple of some more aggressive ways to really open up through your hips, create some more range of motion, get some more mobility, increase that stability at the same time, so that when it comes to time for you to get into your training, you're deadlifting heavier, you're squatting heavier, you're 10 times more powerful, you're running better, you're running smoother, and you're doing all that sort of stuff, pain, injury-free, and just generally feeling really good about yourself. So here goes, guys, watch up. Like I said, go and implement once you've done this, or sorry, once you've watched this, go and implement, give it a go, and then give us your feedback with how you're going, all right, guys? So to start off with this one here, guys, we're going to wrap our power band around any sort of pole, squat rack, anything like that, or if you're at a pole at the park, something at home, wherever you've got your power band, find somewhere to tie it up so you've got that leverage point. And what you're going to do from here first is open it up, bring one foot through, and when you bring it up, you want to bring it right at the bottom fold of your glute, of your bum cheek there, right where your glute and have it connect. And then you're going to come back down, whichever leg you've got it wrapped around, that's the knee we want down. So like I mentioned in our previous clip with the psoas release, if you got some discomfort through your knee when you're in this position, just throw a towel or fold up a mat underneath to give yourself a little bit more cushioning. From there, so we've got it right underneath the glute. From there, we're going to squeeze the glute, tuck the pelvis, so we've got that strong rib to hip connection. All right, tall through our posture, and if you need a little bit more, if you're not feeling a stretch at all through this point, simply just move back. If there's too much of a stretch, you can always shuffle back forward as well. Legs at 90 degrees, glute on, pelvis tucked. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to lengthen through that arm. And from there, one hand on the ribs, so the ribs stay down in control. It's going to come forward, get a bit more of a length through the hip, through the pelvis, coming back. Make sure when we come back that we don't lean back on it, or just overextend. Oh, so not overextend, but just push those hips back and we just collapse over it as well. So make sure we stay tall. So there's no collapse, there's no overextension, we're nice and tall, we've got that arm reached, ribs are down, we're getting a good stretch through the pelvis, coming forward, coming back, coming forward, coming back. Just working through that nice and slow. From there, we need to go to that rotation. And back. Good thing about when you do that rotation as well is not only do you get to open up through your hips and keep that glute on, you should also get a bit of thoracic mobility coming into it as well, which is always nice to get that that bonus in there. Come back. Keep that glute squeezed. You find the more you squeeze your glute, the better stretch you're going to get and the more you're going to open up through these hip flexors, alright guys? So make sure you're focusing on the glute, staying tall. Check the ribs, make sure they're staying down and we're not flaring. Rotating through. And lengthen out. Come back from there. From there, just like we did with the psoas, a bit more aggressive this time though with the band. As we start to open up, come back down. Ribs down, one hand on the ribs, keep those ribs down. Open up through the pelvis, squeeze through your glute. You should only be feeling this through the front of your hip, guys, nothing through your lower back at all. Hand on the ribs, ribs down again, back down. Open up, back down. And then you can start to repeat back through as well. If you are going to repeat it through, then make sure you just shuffle back a little bit, because obviously what you've done with the rotation work and that arm up, that extension, is that you are going to have loosened up through those hip flexors. So if you go on a second round straight away, move it back. Alright guys, so that way you create a little bit more tension, get a little bit more aggressive with it, and that way you get a bit more of a stretch, a bit more release, better mobility, and ready to rock into your session. Alright, so next one up, we're going to do a continuation where I'm actually going to turn around the other way. Rightio guys, so before I turn it around, what I've done is I've just swapped sides. And what I'm going to do here is just get a little bit more of an aggressive stretch and a bit more mobility after squeezing through that glute through this hip. Is I'm just going to lean forward, bring the other leg up, get a good grip onto your foot, bring that heel towards your glute, and then from there, we lose the lean over the front leg, and we come back up nice and tall. So try and bring your heel to your bum if you've got the range. If not, and it feels really, really tight, then just relax it back off. Alright, the more you bring the heel up towards your glute, the more of a lengthening feel you're going to get. You'll feel this one quite a lot through your quad as well. So you'll be feeling this one from the knee all the way up into the hips, alright, along that whole quad and hip area, through all the attachments, and you'll get a little bit through that psoas as well. So you've got that grip, and then you can lean forward, lean back, lean forward, leaning back. Make sure we keep that glute squeezed and pelvis tucked. So the more you focus on squeezing through your glute, the more of a stretch we're going to get. Keep that heel up. So you'll find this one to be a very, very aggressive stretch, guys. So like I said, if you're feeling like it's too much, like we don't want to be overdoing your stretch. So if it's like a, you're feeling the stretch and you're like, well, this is a 9 or 10 out of 10, this is too much, make sure you bring it back down and relax it out from there. If you want to get more of a stretch, like I said, bring it back up, rolling forward, rolling back. What you're going to do from there is you'll come back in. What we're going to do is we're going to swap the leg over. So you've done that side. Now we're going to face it out the other way. Foot through. So with this one here, like you would have seen a couple of clips back, is going to bring that right into the crease of your hip, right up around your pubic bone. From there we're going to come forward, kneeling position. Whichever hip you've got the band around is the hip or the knee that we want on the floor. Like I said, if you're feeling discomfort with your knee there, mat or a towel, fold it up, throw it underneath the knee from there.